Yes, Laura.
This is really just a technical question. How did you do Sophie, her arm? Sorry. It's really just a technical question about the special effects. How you made Anna's arm actually look like Bethany's.
How we removed her arm in the yeah. We do you remember Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump? That's when they created the technology, and he wore blue socks, and then they stepped away and they shot the plate. Well, when we shot this, I said I don't want to freeze the camera from the point she gets attacked to the point that she stands up on the board. It was always a handheld camera. It was very unsettling. It was purposefully. And I said, we have to figure out the technology to make sure that we can make it look right. So Dan Schmidt, our effects guy, figured out a way to do that. He built a prosthetic that was actually based on Bethany's shoulder, and they put that on Sophia every single day. And then she wore a green sock, and she'd shoot the entire scene until we were happy with it. And then she had to shoot the entire scene with her arm over her head so we could rebuild her torso. Then all the other actors had to act without Anna Sophia, and so we could shoot the background and the people. And then artists redrew the background on every single shot. There's 750 shots. Each one had about 15 versions of them to make them perfect behind her. So that's technically, it took 4 extra months to finish this movie just to make that come true. And I said, it's a visual effects movie, and I just ultimately hope that nobody noticed how we did her arm.
I mean, it was that simple. Yes, up there, sir.
Well, it's a rare occasion when I get an opportunity to express my thanks to someone in the media for touching my life, and I want you to know that when this incident happened to you, and I heard about it, and I understood how you were dealing with it, it really did touch my life. So I thank you very much for being an inspiration to me. And I also want to ask a question regarding the script and the way the scriptures were woven into it, in those touching moments. How did those scriptures come about? Who was the catalyst for choosing them, and how did that actually work out?
Well, specifically, Bethany, she can answer this one.
Well, the verse Jeremiah 29:11. Hi. Well, as I was on my way to the hospital, I'm Sarah Hill. I'm Bethany's youth leader. Cheri Underwood. Noah Hamilton had called me early in the morning, Halloween morning, when Bethany was attacked by a shark, and I was pulling into Honolulu Elementary School, which is on your way, you have to pass it to go to Tunnels Beach, and he just said, Bethany's been attacked by a shark, and I thought he was joking, and he said, no, I'm serious, and then the ambulance passed behind my car on their way to pick her up, so I just turned around, went and got him, and I'm just driving to the hospital, and he's in my car, and he's like, I'm going to get sick, and I'm like, can you roll down the window and put your head out the window? So he's like, got his head out the window, and I'm just driving, and I'm just praying, like, Lord, how do I minister to this family? And I think that that's something that's so important to do before you go and try and minister to someone, is to spend that time just asking the Lord to give you His words to minister. And the Lord just brought back to my memory. It was, in the Psalms it says God is faithful to meet us, and it was like that faithful moment of Christ just meeting me in the car, and just gave me Jeremiah 29:11. It says, for I know the plans I have for you. You guys heard it in the movie. It says the Lord. Plans of good and not of evil, to give you a future and hope. And the Lord just spoke to my heart that, Bethany had always been a standout kid, just a light in the community, a light in surfing. And the Lord just told me that He was going to use her as a voice. And obviously we had no idea what that meant. But He's done that. So that's where that verse came from. I shared it with Noah right away. And he said, you got to give it to my mom. And I shared it with Cheri at the hospital, and she said, you need to write that on a paper. I need that verse. And so I wrote it down for her, and that was the first thing she shared with Bethany. So, it's neat. It's all the Lord, it's just His faithfulness in meeting us that morning.
Thanks. Anything further on that?
I'm passing the mic.
Okay, Anna Sophia. I think we have time for one more question.
I just want to add to that because, our movie is definitely a hybrid in Hollywood. It's a mainstream movie with a lot more religion than in the past. And, I just, you know, standing before you, you know, like God worked through a lot of people's lives, and we got to thank Sean, because, you know, Sean had some angry moments working with writers that just, they didn't understand, and these are his words, that Bethany's foundation is her faith, and it's what motivates her. And if they can't figure it out, they don't deserve to be a part of this project. And I thought he was being a little harsh. I'm like, no, we'll help weave it in. He's like, no, if they don't get it, they're never going to get it, and it's not going to be able to drive the movie. So, you know, that's, and then, Rich, where are you at? We got Rich Bluso back here from Affirm Films, and you know, Rich was right in there, really helping, and brought in some key people to help intertwine faith into the movie, and you know, make it drive and make it relevant and not too preachy. So, and you know, just sticking by some of the finer points that needed to stay in the film, you know, because it was all about finding the balancers. You know, it's always give and take, you know, and Rich really helped with that, with his, you know, his influence at Sony, and just from working with a lot of Christian films, and so thank you, Rich, and Sony, and Big Sony. Anybody else that you want to thank?
Bethany, all the surfing scenes were fantastic. Tell us where they were. Were they in Kauai, or were they in the Big Island, or where did they do the surfing scenes from your Uncle Bob? And I have to say to Cheri and Tom, you got a beautiful family.
So we started off filming in Oahu, and that's where most of the movie was filmed. And, you know, Oahu is known for its incredible surf, so we were like, okay, well, we'll get some good surf. And, of course, that was a huge factor that our family wanted to be done right and really just show off women surfing and how good girls are nowadays. And so it was kind of an off winter, and we just really didn't get the waves we were hoping for. And we ended up it was just kind of bland. Like, I saw the first edit of the film, and I was like, okay, this needs to be changed, because this is not up to par. And, like, surfing is, like, our everyday life, so we know, like, what we really wanted to be a part. And so then, and even before the film was shot, we were planning, like, okay, we need a trip to Tahiti, because Tahiti is just really special and has incredible, just powerful, beautiful waves, and there's just something about it. And so then that's when we pushed for the Tahiti trip. And thank you, everyone David, Tice, back there, and Sean, and everyone who came together and allowed us to go to Tahiti. And so we got incredible surf down there. So you know, like the big waves with the barrels, if you know what I'm talking about. Like the tube ride when the lips like over top of Bethany. Well, anyway.
Bethany, I wanted to say one thing. We went to see Bridge to Terabithia around 2004, and I go, that's her! That's the girl that's got to play Bethany. The movie, she will make the movie. And we got her, and we're so happy and thankful for that. Thank you, Anna Sophia.
Okay, I know we have to wrap it up, but I just, you know, Bethany mentioned David Tice back here. David is sitting in the corner with Cheri. And, you know, Sean can go on and on about David, but me and David are fighting for biggest fan in this movie. And David, you know, he financed this movie, you know, 80-90% of it, I'm not sure, a big percentage of it. And we're so grateful to him, and he's been along for this ride for the last 2 years, and you guys, if you get a chance, thank him, because he's just stuck to our family, and it just means so much to us, along with Sean.
Well, they're going to get their chance. All right. Well, we really have to go. We have the media gallery.